So if you've been watching our series of videos, you will know by now that I'm coming back from a long period of being out and not training as much, and I've decided to do Couch to 5K. So once upon a time, I was running regularly and I was cycling regularly and I was competing in various age group triathlons up to Ironman distance and marathon distance in running. Anyway, I'm far from that in that position these days. Kids, injury, COVID has all probably meant that 18 months to 2 years out of the sport or not as training as consistently as I wanted to. So we decided to do Couch to 5K. We've just finished week 3, and just a quick recap of where we are. And I said from the very beginning I was going to be disciplined and I was going to stick to the plan and I was going to review it as we went along. And yeah, week 3 we've stuck to the plan. It's changed slightly, so there's a little bit more difference in the interval. Whereas the first couple of weeks it was the same things over again. You would run for a set period of time, 1 or 2 minutes, then you'd walk for 1 or 2 minutes. And this week it was running a shorter distance walk, running for a longer time, so not distance time, sorry. So running for a short time, it was like 2 minutes, then walk for a minute, run for 4 minutes, and then I think walk for 2 minutes or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then repeat that. So what's happened in this round is that we are mixing up the interval training, and ultimately that's how interval training works. It's going well. Injuries are niggling a little bit in the background, but the injuries are more around tightness, and the tightness for me then means that the next day or earlier or later that evening, I'm feeling tight and then I'm tender. But most of my issues come from having a desk job and probably not being as strong in the core as I could be and as mobile as I could be, and that's a different issue that probably I need to sort out in another video. But as regards to everything, it's going well. The one dilemma I have at the moment, and it's probably a good dilemma to have, that I do feel I can be doing more. And again, I think one, it's the mindset that I've got, and I've mentioned this in the other videos, is that mindset of I once was further down the line as regards to running distance and time. I'm not there anymore, but I do feel I can go longer. And for next week, week 4, I may adapt it slightly in the sense of I may try and run a little bit longer in time wise and have possibly less recovery, but we'll see. What's important is that I don't rush it and I don't do too much too soon, because although I may feel that I can go further now, if I do too much of a jump from where I was, ultimately that's where injury can occur. So I don't necessarily want to do that. Which does bring me on to the topic that I wanted to discuss within this video, and that is around rest and recovery. And if you follow our channel, you will know that I'm harping on all the time about rest and recovery and why it's important. You need to be ensuring that you maintain and look after your body. A lot of our audience within the Life of Tribe tends to be a slightly older person, in the sense of over 30s, over 40s. And that's because they've played sport up in their teens and in their 20s, and then they've come into triathlon and are looking for something else. So rest and recovery is just as important, if not more important, than it's ever been at this point. You need to ensure that you are giving your body time to repair itself between sessions. And there's 3 reasons why rest and recovery is important. So the rest allows your body to adapt to the stresses that you were putting on it. So ensuring that you, by increasing the distance that you are doing each time, and normally we have a goal that we are working towards, whether it's building up to a 5K run, whether it's building up to a half marathon, whether it's building up to a certain distance in triathlon, the loads that we are putting on our body will stress the body. So rest and recovery in between will allow the bodies to adapt to those different loads that you're putting on it. And in this case, the load is also stress. That's number 1. Number 2, it gives your body enough time to restore its glycogen levels. And that is ultimate, or the glycogen that's in your muscles. And that's ultimately the body's fuel stores. And you may not think that you are using much when you're going for a 5K run and you're only running for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, but it does have an impact. And ultimately, you need to give yourself time to build those back up. And building those back up is by taking in sustenance, taking in fuel. So there's got to be a period of time between your training as well. The third and final one, and I've mentioned it already, is around recovery and how you maintain and sort of allow your body to sort of repair itself. And that's, you have to let your muscles repair. And what generally tends to happen is when you exercise, the muscle fibers will break down in order to rebuild and obviously come back a little bit stronger. And that's what a lot of people don't get right. They automatically think that they trained hard today and they have to train hard tomorrow to see the gains. And everything that we do within running and triathlon is a long-term goal. So it's important that we build up slowly, but we're giving ourselves the time to recover in between. Anyway, guys, leave the video there. There's not much else to say. Rest and recovery is very, very important. Ensure that you're giving yourself enough time between each session. I am personally running Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at the moment. So there's at least 48 hours rest in between. It doesn't mean you can't train in between those, but what I would say is running is quite high intensity, high stress on the body because of the load that you were taking. There's nothing stopping you going for a swim in the days between. There's nothing stopping you doing a Pilates class, a yoga class. There's nothing stopping you doing a weight session, and there's potentially nothing stopping you going on the bike or something. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Let us know if you're doing the Couch to 5K, how it's going, and we'll go from there. And we'll say goodbye from the loudest dog in the world. Right, cheers all.